Justin buys Canary is throwing a tantrum again. He handed me the divorce papers. Just sign it. It's for show. To calm that little girl down, I clutched the hem of my dress tightly and nodded. Quietly, I signed my name. As I was leaving, I overheard his friend teasing, "Your wife is way too obedient. What if you told her to register the divorce, and she wouldn't even say a word?" Justin lit a cigarette, clearly amused. "Wanna bet?" They bet that a month later, at the Civil Affairs Bureau, I'd be bawling like a simp and still obediently do whatever I was told. Trade our marriage certificate for a divorce one. Holding my phone, I said nothing. I just replied to the message I'd just received. "What if you just married me? Would that be so bad?" "All right." Chapter 1. "What?" He replied almost instantly. I turned off my phone. The sound of laughter still echoed from inside. "If your wife really listens that well, drinks are on me next month." 3 months, Justin said. "Deal." "Deal." Laughter erupted again. I stumbled out. Only when I stepped out of the office building, the sharp sunlight hit my eyes, and the tears finally fell. Justin had fallen for a young girl who hadn't even graduated yet. He bought her an apartment in H City, filled it with luxury brands, but she wouldn't let him kiss her, wouldn't let him hold her. She lived in a 360 square meter penthouse, wore haute couture worth hundreds of thousands, and held her head high as she said, "I'm not some side chick." Justin found it amusing. This was already the 3rd time he was putting on a show for her. The first time, he showed off our love. Back then, I didn't even know Helen existed. I hugged him happily, took tons of photos. I was thrilled when I saw him post a full collage on social media, but no matter how I refreshed, I couldn't see the post. Later, I found out it was set to visible to Helen only. The second time, he picked a fight with me, left me crying alone on the street. He took pictures of me, sent them to Helen. "See? Told you, she can't live without me." The third time, he asked for a divorce. My phone buzzed. I checked it. "Really? Are you serious?" "Selena." I wiped my tears and smiled. "Yes, really." Chapter 2. That afternoon, Justin really took me to the Civil Affairs Bureau. He was in a great mood the whole way, kept asking where I wanted to go for our 3rd anniversary. Justin and I grew up together. This was our 3rd year of marriage. "How about Prague? You were already begging to feed pigeons in Prague Square when you were 7. He got out, opened the car door for me, and undid my seatbelt. "Tisk. Were you crying?" He frowned and brushed the corner of my eye with his thumb. "I told you. It's just an act. Just a little bird. I'm just curious when she'll finally give in." As he spoke, something fell out of his pocket. A box of condoms. Justin cleared his throat and rubbed his nose. He didn't explain, just walked me into the Civil Affairs Bureau. Everything went smoothly. I have aphasia. I can't speak in front of strangers, but I can nod and shake my head. "Is this divorce voluntary?" "Yes." I nodded. "Do you confirm the relationship is broken beyond repair?" "Yes." I nodded again. 1 month cooling off period. Come back in a month. Justin took the receipt. Before we even left the building, he took a photo and started texting. Just like before, a message came in, from Helen. He sent her a photo of the receipt and added, "Happy now? Be clean and ready tonight." I tapped her profile, blocked her. Right after I did, I got a text with a flight confirmation, then an Instagram message, "Ticket booked." 1 month later, see you in F City. Chapter 3. That night, I dreamt of Justin again. Little Justin used to be so sweet. "Selena, your eyes are so pretty. Can I always look at them when I talk to you?" "Selena, your piano sounds beautiful. Can I come every day to hear you play?" "Selena, I like you the most. When I grow up, I want to marry you." I liked Justin too. We sat together in class, played together after school, even when my parents died in a car crash. I was in his family's car, playing rock paper scissors with him. The cars were too close. I saw that truck come crashing through. Boom. My dad, my mom, my brother, even the dog I raised since I was a child, all burned in the flames. After that, I couldn't speak for a long time. Only with Justin next to me could I sleep. Back then, he was patient, helped me practice talking, told me stories all night. If anyone dared call me mute, he'd punch them. Marrying him felt like the most natural thing in the world. The day after I got my college diploma, he was by my bed at dawn. Selena, let's get a certificate too. That same day, we became husband and wife. In my dream, the room was covered in red roses. He knelt on the bed, kissed me gently. He said, Selena, let's stay happy like this forever. But when I opened my eyes, everything was black. I grabbed my phone. Helen had messaged again. A photo, a messy bed, a streak of blood. Suddenly I felt sick, ran into the bathroom, dry heaving. Only tears came out. In the end, I sat curled on the cold floor, hugging my knees. Somehow, I must have touched something on my phone. In the quiet of the night, a deep voice came through. Selena? My heart jumped. I picked up the phone. Phew, Alex? Chapter 4. Alex was my recovery partner. After 3 years of therapy, my aphasia got much better. Now, I only lose my voice when I'm upset or anxious. During the first 2 years of marriage with Justin, I was almost fully recovered, with more free time and better mood. I joined a support group for people with speech disorders. They assigned me a partner, Alex. For 2 years, I honestly thought he was a girl. His profile picture was a pink bunny. His username was Angel. At first, she barely replied to anything I sent. But people with the same scars can recognize each other. Those who live with aphasia often carry deep trauma. Maybe they can't talk, but they still need someone around. I kept messaging her anyway, sharing my day, text, voice messages, photos, videos. Eventually, we became like old friends, so much so that the first time we spoke on the phone, and I found out she was a man, I nearly had a relapse. I'm sorry, I said, clutching my phone. Did I wake you? No, Alex replied. It's just 9 p.m. here. His speech was so fluent now. It was only our second call. After learning he was a man, I tried to keep my distance. That day, it just happened. We hadn't talked in almost a month, right when Justin handed me the divorce papers. Alex happened to ask what I was doing. My brain froze at the words divorce papers. All I replied was, getting divorced. After signing, I stood outside Justin's office, shaking all over. Alex, I think I don't have a home anymore. No dad, no mom, no brother, not even my sweet little dog. Now, not even Justin. What now? I didn't expect him to suddenly say, then just marry me. Why not? Inside, the joking got louder and louder. Don't joke. If Selena divorces Justin, she'll be too scared to even speak. No way she'd really go through with it. Yeah, if she actually goes, the whole civil office might collapse from her crying. Really? Justin scoffed. He tossed his lighter on the table. Even if she cries like a dog, she's still my dog. If I tell her to go east, she'll crawl that way if she has to. I stared blankly at the man through the crack in the door, a man who now felt like a stranger. Okay. Chapter 5. Alex gave me a checklist. Things I had to get done within a month. Visa, lawyer, of course those were on it. But what surprised me was a long list of must-try restaurants. Chinese food abroad is terrible. Seriously, I gladly accepted. Followed his list, checking off each place one by one. Turns out, living alone wasn't that unbearable. Eat, shop, pack. The day I moved out of the divorce apartment, Justin texted me. Not even a call? Didn't miss me? He was off traveling with Helen. Said he wanted to show the little girl the world. You're being naughty. He sent another message. Then a photo. Nice spot. Maybe I'll bring you here for our anniversary too? I wanted to block him, just like I did Helen. But since I still needed to get the divorce certificate, I didn't. Over the next 2 weeks, I cleared out my jewelry and bags, went to the hospital for a checkup, confirmed I wasn't pregnant. Finally, I sorted through all the assets Justin had handed me over the years. The night before our final trip to the Civil Affairs Bureau, Justin came back. He called me. Selena, you moved out? Chapter 6. He was used to my silence on the phone, so he laughed to himself. Selena, You're too cute. I told you, it's just for show, actually, he said, sounding pleased. Let's take the act all the way. Come with me tomorrow and get the divorce certificate? I held the phone in my hand. Selena, relax. It's only, okay, I said. Whoa, laughter erupted from his side. I hung up, sent him the time on Instagram. The next morning, I got up early. Justin showed up late. Probably Helen's doing. There was a faint bite mark on his lip. He pretended it wasn't there, and I pretended not to notice. The process was even faster than last time. Barely 5 minutes. Selena, I've got a surprise for you tomorrow. Justin gently tapped my calf with his foot. I tucked the divorce certificate into my bag. Justin, are you free tonight? I looked at him. There's something I want to talk to you about. He froze for a moment. Since we got married, I'd always called him hubby. The next second, he smiled, those signature fox-like eyes curved, and tapped the red booklet in his hand. Sure. Chapter 7. No matter what kind of person Justin became this past year, I never wanted to deny the Justin of the past. I was grateful for all those years he stayed by my side. Grateful for how he once cared for me. So honestly, I never planned to leave without saying goodbye. But that night, it rained, thunder, lightning. I've always been afraid of nights like this. The crash happened during a storm just like this. I sat there, shaking, waiting for Justin. A part of me even worried. If he came, would years of habit break down my defenses and send me running into his arms, crying? But he didn't come. He called. When I picked up, the background was loud and chaotic. Redemption? Bullshit. She drove me nuts for years. If it weren't for my mom, I wouldn't have given a damn. You know why we got married so early? Because she wouldn't let me touch her. I was just curious. She gets aphasia when she's emotional, right? But what about in bed? Could she make a sound then? Ha ha ha. Boom. It felt like something inside me shattered all over again. Right there in the thunderstorm, I wanted to hide. I didn't want anyone to see me like that. But where could I go? Everywhere. There was rain. There was thunder. There was laughter, mockery. That's when Alex called. Selena? His voice was always calm. It made the noise fade. Are you crying? I wanted to say no, but no words came out. And as if my tears wanted to answer for me, they came rushing down. Wait for me. He was still calm. I'm coming to get you. Chapter 8. Turns out, the second son of the Bai family was single again. His rich buddies threw him a singles party at KTV, drinking till they dropped. A whole row of them passed out. No one knew what time it was when someone groggily grabbed their phone. Holy shit, big news. That shout woke a few of them up. The mighty heir of the Fu family actually showed up in H-City. Flew back on a private jet in the middle of the night. Someone waved dismissively. Half asleep. No way. Wasn't he supposed to be abroad recovering? It's been like 10 years since anyone saw him. It's real. He's trending everywhere. The phone was passed around. The room, once quiet, got noisy again. Damn, it really is him, and he's holding a girl in his arms. Said he flew back just to take her overseas. No PR? Must have been urgent. Let me see. Let me see. Tisk. This girl, why does she look kind of familiar? Justin. Hey Justin. Someone nudged Justin. Doesn't she look like your wife? Justin had actually been awake for a while, but he didn't care to join in the gossip about the Fu family. No way, that's your sister-in-law. He took the phone, annoyed. She wouldn't even dare leave H-City, let alone the country. But one glance at the photo, and he froze. It was raining hard at the airport. Under a black umbrella stood a tall man with a cold, handsome face, shielding the girl in his arms completely from the rain. But Justin knew Selena too well. Her frame, her hair. No way. He slammed the phone down. There's no way Selena would know some guy named Alex. She even asked him to come over tonight. Must have missed him, hadn't seen him in a month. Justin pulled out a cigarette and lit it, took out his phone, scrolled to Selena's number and was just about to call. Then glanced at the time. 3 a.m. Forget it. She must be sleeping. But then again, Selena always picked up when he called. No matter the time. He turned his screen back on, dialed. Sorry. The The number you dialed is no longer in service. Chapter 9. Ever since the accident, I had never left H City. All kinds of transportation terrified me. Going somewhere completely unfamiliar made me feel even more lost and anxious. I sat next to Alex, nervously picking at my fingers. He was so tall, even sitting in the back seat. He was still a head taller than me. He looked serious. When the driver talked to him, he just replied with a word or two. He seemed like someone important. Back at the H City airport, reporters had surrounded us completely, shouting Mr. Fu over and over. Did I act too impulsively? I didn't even know his real name, Alex, until after our first call. And this city in F country was a place I never even dreamed of visiting. Then, the man next to me moved. He pulled something from his pocket and handed it to me. Want one? A candy, wrapped in paper printed with pink bunnies. My memory snapped back to 2 years ago, when I kept messaging her nonstop. Little sis, do you like candy? I found this new kind. It's so good. Soft and chewy. Tastes like peach. If you want to try, give me an address. I'll send you a whole jar. She had replied with an English address. It was the first time she acknowledged me. That moment, the distance between us vanished. I'd searched high and low for this bunny candy, even used his profile picture as reference, just to make that distant, cold girl happy. Want me to unwrap it for you? He didn't seem that hard to approach anymore. His voice was gentle, eyes soft. Before I could nod, he had already peeled off the wrapper smoothly. I took the candy and placed it in my mouth. The familiar sweetness spread across my tongue, and every cell in my body finally relaxed. Chapter 10. I actually stayed in a place completely unfamiliar to me. Alex let me live in his apartment, but he seemed really busy. He was rarely home. The first week, after I got over the jet lag, he sat down and talked to me. Seal, what kind of job do you want? I was stunned. Justin had never allowed me to work. You get so nervous you can't even talk properly. What kind of job could you possibly do? Just be good. Stay home. Grow some plants. You don't need to work. But Alex just held his coffee calmly and said, there are a lot of Chinese people in F country. Even if your language studies haven't started, it's possible. I nervously clenched my hands. Can I, really? Alex raised an eyebrow. You won't know unless you try. And I really did find a job, teaching Mandarin to a Chinese kid. Just a basic tutoring gig, but it made me genuinely happy. So happy I wanted to share it with the few friends I had left. To tell them, maybe I'm not that useless after all. I logged into Instagram, and then the messages came flooding in like snow. Selena, where did you go? Justin's been going crazy looking for you. Chapter 11. Justin's looking for me? That night when I left with Alex, I wasn't in a good state, so Alex handled the rest for me. All the asset documents meant for Justin were delivered to the Bai family estate. Any properties that needed dealing with were handed over to the lawyer I'd already found. Everything related to the divorce, also handled by the lawyer. As for the rest, my phone number, SIM card, Alex had it all cancelled. If Justin had anything to say, he should contact the lawyer, not me. As I was deleting the messages one by one, a voice call suddenly came in. My hand slipped. I answered by accident. Selena, what the hell are you doing? Justin's voice burst out. Your phone got stolen or what? You don't know how to buy a new one? You bought a new one and didn't think to call me? Didn't you memorize my number by heart? I held the phone quietly. And where the hell did you go? Why did you send all that stuff to the old house? Don't you care it's our anniversary? Justin. I was surprised how easily his name came out of my mouth. We're already divorced. Before he could say another word, I hung up. Selena, how many times did I say it was just acting? Didn't you get that? What's your new number? Send it to me. Add me back on Instagram. You really want to cut contact with me? Messages came one after another. I tapped his profile. Blocked. Then I went through my contacts list. Found all of Justin's friends. Blocked every one of them. Chapter 12. Maybe a new environment really does help you let go. On the way back, I bought a small cake. After all, Alex and I had talked for over 2 years. Once we got past the initial awkwardness, he felt familiar to me. I even knew some of his preferences. Lately, He didn't seem so busy. He'd been coming home more often, carrying the cake. I kept thinking, he should be home tonight. I just didn't expect he'd be home this early. Right as I pulled out my keys, the door opened. Alex stood there in a crisp white shirt, holding a fuzzy little creature in his arms. A puppy! I was so surprised I nearly dropped everything. I reached out and scooped the puppy into my arms. You got a dog? You never said anything. Or is it your friend's? It's so cute. It's yours, Alex said, closing the door. I froze for a moment. Mine? Instinctively, I asked. Can I? Justin never let me have pets. He said they shed too much and made the house smell weird. But Alex just replied, why not? It felt like something in my heart quietly lit up. A small burst of joy. I brought you some cake. I handed him the cake and went to play with the puppy on the sofa. My first dog was a birthday gift from my parents. My brother helped them pick it out. Back then, life felt carefree. Maybe that's why I always thought, as long as there's a dog, nothing can really be that bad. I looked up. Turns out, I wasn't the only one in a good mood. Alex sat beside me, the corner of his mouth slightly raised, quietly eating cake, bite by bite. Little sister, you've got cream on your face. I stood up, reaching for tissues, then froze. I'd relaxed too much. I said the wrong thing. Little sister? Alex's voice moved closer. His breath did too. Too close. The puppy yelped and ran off. I looked up, right into his handsome face. Felt the warmth of his hand behind my head. My heart thundered in my ears, before I could pull away. He kissed me, firm and certain. Selena, did you forget something? My heart was racing. My face was burning. And then he kissed me again. This time, soft, gentle. His voice was low and husky. When are we registering? Today, or tomorrow? Chapter 13. I don't even know how it happened. One kiss after another left me dazed. I thought, well, it's already late today. Let's do it tomorrow. And the next day, Alex really took me to the city hall. They said the mayor himself officiated. An older gentleman spoke a bunch of fast local language. I just nodded along. He waved his hand and issued our marriage certificate. I felt a little nervous, but mostly excited. People with the same wounds recognize each other. And I had a feeling Alex wasn't going to be a mistake. The only unpleasant part. Somehow, Justin got hold of my new number in F country. He even called me using a local number. So you really went to F country. As soon as I picked up, he recognized my voice. Selena, learned how to throw a tantrum now? A whole month still isn't enough for you? I took a deep breath to steady my emotions. Justin, stop interfering in my life. Your life? What life do you even have? Don't think I don't know. You went to F country for that angel, right? Some little girl who eats candy all day. You think she needs you dragging her down? I had never hidden anything from Justin before. Not what I did. Not who I was close to. That has nothing to do with you anymore. The hell it doesn't. I'm your husband. You better come back right now or... I hung up. He followed with text messages. So you're really not coming back? Fine. You think you're tough. Let's see how long you can cling to that little girl. Chapter 14. I never realized Justin could be this awful. But then again, he cheated during our marriage. And still dared to call it a fake divorce. Was he ever a good person? Maybe I was just blinded by childhood memories, by habit. That night, more messages came in. Most of them were screenshots of Justin's Instagram post. What happened between you and Justin? He had posted a picture, him and Helen, looking intimate. It was his way of going public with their relationship. I didn't bother explaining. I simply posted a photo of our divorce certificate to my moments. Then, my college roommate group chat exploded. OMG, Selena, you finally woke up. I always thought there was something off about Bai. He never let you meet his friends. And he never posted you on social media, right? He kept bringing up your aphasia like it was some kind of excuse. Selena used to talk just fine with us, but every time he mentioned it, she'd actually go mute from the stress. Turns out, the signs were always there. A few days later, the group blew up again. Is this guy insane? Justin had messaged each of them the same thing, a photo of a diamond ring, a screenshot of his chat with Helen. 3 days later, got a surprise for you. Are you free? And then a message for me. Tell Selena, 3 days from now. It's my mom's birthday party. If she doesn't come back, I'll get my mom a new daughter-in-law. Honestly, he did sound insane. I told them, ignore him. But I was going back to Sea City. That evening, Alex came home with 2 suitcases. We're heading back. I stared at him, a little stunned. The marriage certificate needs to be authenticated back in Sea City. He explained. And I want to take you home, introduce you to my family and friends. I almost asked it again. Can I? Just like my roommate said. Justin never took me anywhere in public. He was afraid I'd stutter, afraid I'd embarrass him. Selena. Alex suddenly stopped packing. He turned toward me. One hand cupped my face. His deep black eyes locking onto mine. Selena. There's nothing you're not allowed to do. Warmth spread from my chest to every corner of my body. So this is what a healthy relationship feels like. Chapter 15. Alex said he needed to stop in H City first to take care of some things. It worked out, since I also wanted to meet with my lawyer. So our first stop back in Sea City was H City. Unlike the heavy rain when I left, the weather was bright and sunny when we landed. Alex kept a low profile. He wore sunglasses the whole way and held my hand as we walked through the VIP lane. By now, I knew exactly who he was. 12 years ago, the power struggle within the Fu Corporation made headlines for months. No one expected the winner would be the youngest heir, someone who didn't even finish college, and even fewer expected that after taking over, Alex would rule with such fierce and unconventional tactics. In just 2 years, he doubled the size of the already massive Fu empire. I'd heard stories about him before, but I was too young, and he had stayed out of the public eye for so long. I hadn't remembered his name. Luckily, no reporters showed up this time. We arrived at the hotel without a hitch. Alex went to the company, and I took a nap. When I woke up, I headed to the law firm. Miss Selena, your assets are being handled according to your instructions, the lawyer said. These documents need your signature. And this, he handed me a folder, is the original contract from the property sale. You may keep it. Everything regarding your personal assets is going smoothly. Except, the lawyer looked uncomfortable. Miss Selena, there are a few properties that are considered joint marital assets with Mr. Bai. Per the divorce agreement, they're to be split 50-50ths. But Mr. Bai is refusing to cooperate. He claims you two are still married. I frowned. So, what would you suggest? The lawyer asked. I nodded. I'll handle it. I pulled out my phone. Ever since I blocked Justin, he had been using all sorts of alternate accounts to contact me. New ones almost every day. I accepted one of them. Are you free tonight? Let's meet. He didn't reply right away, but the typing indicator stayed on for a long time. Then came his message. Well, finally came back to Sea City. Huh? Chapter 16. What a shame. Tonight. This young master is taking Helen shopping. No time. I looked at the message on my phone, almost laughed from how ridiculous it was. If he refused to cooperate on the asset division, there were ways around it. I could just apply to the court for enforcement. But since this trip back to Sea City was short, I was hoping to keep things simple. Maybe because I didn't respond. He sent another message. If you want to make peace, it's not impossible. Tomorrow's my mom's birthday banquet. Come and apologize. He even attached the hotel location. Completely insane. I blocked him again. Just then, a message from Alex came through. I asked someone to send a few dresses to you. Pick one you like. Tomorrow, I'm introducing you to some friends. Meeting Alex's friends. My heart skipped a little. In that moment, everything annoying about Justin faded from my mind. I hailed a cab and headed back to the hotel. Chapter 17. Alex didn't just send a few dresses. Several rows of clothing racks, plus matching shoes, jewelry, and makeup artists. The entire suite was packed. Seeing how seriously he took it, I didn't dare treat it casually either. I spent almost the whole night trying outfits. In the end, I chose something modest and soft. a look that seemed well-behaved and low-key. Thankfully, Alex didn't come back that night. He hadn't returned to C-City in 10 years, and was personally visiting the H-City branch. It was obvious how busy he was. The next day, I slept through half the day again. Just as I finished getting dressed and doing my makeup, Alex texted, "I've sent a driver to pick you up." As I got in the car, a call came from an unknown number. I had a feeling it was Justin, and hung up immediately. He called again. I hung up again. Eventually, I blocked him again. What I didn't expect was to see Justin standing outside the hotel. He was pacing, making calls, again and again, until he finally threw his phone in frustration. Then I looked up at the hotel sign. It was the exact same hotel he'd messaged me about yesterday. Alex's call came just in time. "You there? Want me to come down and get you?" His voice always had a calming effect. I glanced at Justin's furious face and replied, "No need. I'll come up myself." Justin must have heard me. He looked over. His expression was hard to describe, a mix of surprise, joy, and a restrained kind of rage. He kicked his broken phone aside. His eyes read, "Selena," but that was all. He turned away, pressing his lips together. "Come on," he added smugly. "Knew you'd show up." He led the way. Apparently, the hotel had been reserved for the event. Then I realized, the friends Alex mentioned. These were the friends. Seeing I didn't follow, Justin slowed down. All right, I'll admit I was wrong, okay?" He lowered his voice. "So you don't like Helen? Fine, I won't see her anymore. You're really too sensitive. It's not like she ever did anything to you." I took a deep breath to calm myself. We reached the second floor, where I saw several familiar faces. Whoa, sister-in-law finally came back? Knew Justin would handle it. A good little wife going full runaway canary? That's comedy gold. Justin, bringing her today with all these guests? Aren't you worried? Exactly. Some big shots are here today. Justin glared at them. Shut up. He moved closer to me. At least you dressed up. Smart. Just stay behind me. Whatever happens, don't talk. Just smile. Okay? Come on. He extended his hand. Let me lead you. I stopped in my tracks, stone-faced. Justin. My voice was cold. I didn't come here for you. Justin laughed. Come on. Really? Still putting on a show? If not for me, then who? Just then, the doors to the inner hall opened, and I saw Alex. Though it wasn't his event. He was seated at the center. To his left sat Justin's mother. To his right, Justin's elder brother, the company's acting head. Everyone else was either sitting or standing, drinking quietly or chatting softly. But somehow, they all formed a half-circle around Alex. See that guy in the middle? Justin whispered. Took a lot to get him here. His wife's coming too. Behave, or you'll embarrass the Bai family. My mom and brother won't let it slide. He reached for my hand again. I yanked it away. Selena! He raised his voice. Heads turned. Alex looked over too, eyes darkening slightly. Justin, what's going on? Justin's mother snapped, but her glare wasn't at her son, it was at me. Justin's brother frowned at me, but quickly smiled at Alex. Madame Fu should be arriving soon, right? I'll go greet her downstairs. People whispered. Justin hissed. I told you not to make a scene. Happy now? First time meeting the whole Bai family and this is the impression you leave? Yes. 3 years of marriage. And this was my first time seeing them all. Seal. Alex called me. Come here. He'd left a seat open between him and Justin's mother. Justin froze. His mother and brother did too. I walked over. Let me introduce her. Alex's voice wasn't loud, but enough for everyone to hear. Selena. He kissed the back of my hand, then looked up at everyone. My wife. Chapter 18. The banquet hall fell into dead silence. It was as if everyone forgot to breathe. Only Alex, completely unfazed. A man used to commanding any room. Seal. He asked. Is there anything you'd like to say? All eyes turned to me. Cold sweat ran down my back. My palms clenched. Heart pounding. Alex gently squeezed my hand, looked into my eyes, and nodded. There is nothing you can't do. I took a deep breath. Auntie, I said to Justin's mother. I clenched my fists. Justin and we've been divorced for a long time. I don't know why he hasn't told you. Then I turned to Justin. Justin, I've never believed that marriage or divorce is something to play at. There is no possibility between us anymore. Finally, I faced the room. I am now Alex's legal wife. From this point on, I have no ties to the Bai family. Justin stared at our interlocked hands, taking 2 steps back in disbelief. Alex stood as well. He picked up a napkin from the table and calmly wiped the spot on my hand where Justin had touched me. My wife prefers peace, and I'm extremely protective. From today on, I don't want to see anyone bothering her, in any form, ever again. He looked directly at Justin's mother. Do I make myself clear? Mrs. Bai? She stood frozen, nodding repeatedly. Apologies for the disturbance, Alex said, dropping the napkin. Then he took my hand and led me out. Not until we reached the elevator did my heartbeat finally begin to slow. My legs gave out slightly, and I almost stumbled. Alex caught me by the waist, pressing me against the elevator wall. You went this far, I whispered breathlessly. Just to stop Justin from bothering me again? Alex cupped my face. You look beautiful today. I wasn't sure if he meant my appearance or what I said. Then he leaned in and kissed me. Selena. Selena. Justin's voice echoed from outside the elevator. We'd been talking and forgot to press the button. He had. The doors opened. Alex immediately pulled me into his arms, shielding me, his voice cold. Do you need something? The reflective wall showed my flushed, kissed face, and Justin, standing outside, frozen in shock and disbelief. I quickly pressed B1, before the doors closed. Alex, with deliberate cruelty, tilted my chin up, and kissed me again. Deeper, right in front of him. Chapter 19. Apparently, Justin was grounded by his family. They took away his phone and laptop, cut off all his communication. They said they'd only let him out after he swore to stop bothering me. Alex and I returned to a city. We were going to authenticate the marriage certificate, but Alex thought it was too troublesome. So we just went to the Civil Affairs Bureau and got a local one. I've met his friends and family now. Just like the rumors said, he's the eldest son and the first grandson. His mother passed away early. His father died of sudden cardiac arrest when Alex was 18. His uncles, who once tried to challenge him, now treat me with polite respect. His friends are all well-mannered. Well, except one, probably his closest friend. He laughed in front of everyone, calling Alex a late-blooming virgin. Wait, what? Over 30, and still a virgin? Well, it's been 2 weeks since we got our license, and Alex really hasn't touched me. So, was it that he didn't know how? Or that he was afraid I'd find out he didn't? That night, the atmosphere felt strange. Part of me wanted to reach out. Part of me wanted to keep my distance. What if he wasn't clueless? Just not interested? Ahem. No, probably not. The way he kisses me, I can feel it. He's a man constantly busy, powerful, always composed. Maybe this is just his pace? Even if something was off. We're married now. I wouldn't mind. What are you thinking about? Alex suddenly rolled over and pulled me into his arms. I shook my head quickly. He nodded, then kissed me. He's been kissing me more and more often lately, and each kiss lingers longer. I just wanted to give you more time to accept me. The warmth under the blanket slowly rose. In the dark, Alex's breath grew uneven, his voice low and husky. My heart thudded, hard enough to stop my words. And then I thought of the puppy sleeping soundly at the foot of the bed. Alex had brought it back with us from abroad. He didn't forget. The lavender-colored bedding, the tulips blooming outside. Every little thing I once told him, he remembered. I really like you, Alex, I whispered, then tilted my head up and kissed him. Alex froze, then quickly took over. Naturally, what followed was a long spring night without sleep. Chapter 20. But not everything goes the way you want. There were too many people at that birthday banquet. Rumors still spread. Every interview Alex appeared in had comments underneath. TSK. Your classic cold CEO, looks good. Acts trash. Wait. He's married? What happened to his wife? Shoo. Keyword, stolen bride. Alex didn't care. The more you try to censor rumors, the louder they become. But for me, it stuck in my throat like a bone. That night, Alex worked late again. In 3 days, we were flying back to F country. I was packing when I heard a commotion outside the courtyard. My wife and I grew up together. 20 years of love. How could it just end? Here, look at this photo. Yes, the one of Alex at the airport that got wiped off the internet the next day. Does my wife look conscious to you? 3 years ago, Alex disguised himself as a girl to deceive her. He's got a fetish. He's a freak. Buzzing. My ears rang. My blood boiled instantly. Justin bye. He brought a group of live streamers right to our front gate. The Fu family thinks they can do whatever they want, but not today. I want everyone here to witness. I will see my wife today. I grabbed a stack of printed documents and stormed downstairs. I completely forgot the house staff was out shopping. I was alone, and I forgot how those past interviews after the accident had caused me trauma. I froze in front of the cameras, couldn't say a word. But when you're protecting something you care about, the strength just comes. I flung the front doors open. Selena, Justin looked thrilled. Before he could get another word out, smack, a slap. Justin, who gave you the confidence to think I'd never leave you? Smack. And who gave you the nerve to slander and lie about others? Smack. I threw the stack of printed chat logs in his face. Take a good look. Stop dragging down the word childhood sweetheart. Then, I shoved a recorder into his arms. It was playing the call from the night I left. His voice. Redemption? Bullshit. She drove me nuts. If my mom hadn't forced me, I wouldn't have given a damn. Marriage? Guess why? Justin turned pale. He rushed to pause the recording. Chapter 21. But what Justin stirred up wasn't so easy to silence. The live stream was cut off. Every clip wiped clean from the internet. What circulated instead were the screenshots Helen had once sent me of her and Justin's old chat logs. People online were stunned by how twisted they were. Soon, Helen, who had always kept a low profile, was completely exposed. Someone even dug up that she was living in a luxury home Justin bought, wearing designer clothes he gave her, pretending to be a rich heiress, while secretly flirting with other heirs. Alex had always been a businessman, strictly professional. He never targeted the Bai family on purpose. But after this, he cut all ties between Fu Corp and the Bai family. Just days later, Justin's mother called me. We didn't keep a close enough eye on Justin. I'm sorry. Selena, can't you let this go for the sake of all these years? Auntie, I interrupted. It's true you took care of me for many years, but I also followed your advice, step by step, turning over all of my parents' businesses to the Bai family. I never owed you anything. Alex and I stuck to our original plan, preparing to return to F country. It rained the day we left. As we passed through security, a sudden commotion broke out. Justin had somehow slipped in. His clothes were soaked, covered in mud. He looked pathetic. Selena! Selena! He grabbed onto my luggage. The floor was slippery. He slipped and fell right in front of me. Selena, please, don't go, okay? Chapter 22. Alex looked thoroughly disgusted. He glanced at his watch, then signaled to a few people nearby. The crowd, pulling out their phones to record the drama, was swiftly cleared away. Justin clung tightly to my suitcase. Selena, please listen to me. There's been so many misunderstandings between us. That phone call, it was Helen. She called you, not me. I didn't know anything about it. I was drunk. I didn't mean what I said. I've never found you annoying. I married you because I really liked you. The things I told Helen, I said them without thinking. It was her. She seduced me. I never actually wanted to divorce you. Didn't I say I had a surprise planned? I was going to propose again the next day. Selena, it was all a huge misunderstanding. That night, I was going to come to the apartment, but Mario dragged me out for drinks. Right. It's always someone else's fault. I looked down at his tear-streaked face. The condoms just magically appeared in your pocket. Someone else shoved you onto that bed. The words you used to humiliate me, what? Possessed by a ghost? I said it all without stuttering. Not even once. Justin, the truth is, you just thought I'd never leave you. So you ignored me, belittled me, looked down on me, mocking me, controlling me was the only way you ever felt important in your pathetic life. Isn't it? The Bai family had 2 sons. The elder took over the family business. The younger played around, wasting time, not because he wanted to, but because he simply couldn't do better. The only thing he ever had going for him was that a girl once loved him unconditionally, depended on him, trusted him. Let go. Don't make our childhood bond end so ugly. Justin trembled violently. Then let go. Selena, please, one more chance, okay? This time I swear. He reached for my hand. I dodged him quickly. Disgusting. His words stopped cold. I grabbed my suitcase, turned, and walked away. Alex was just up ahead. I reached out and took his arm. Behind me, I heard the sound of Justin breaking down in tears. Chapter 23. For a long, long time after that, I never saw Justin again. Now and then, I'd hear bits and pieces from my old roommates. Something about Helen, or him. The situation with Helen got messy. A few rich heirs, including Justin, filed lawsuits against her. She was expelled, didn't get her diploma. Whether the court ever ruled, no one knows. Justin Bai was kicked out of the Bai family. Maybe they were trying to win favor with Alex. Maybe his mother's business ran into trouble, and he became her scapegoat. They froze all his accounts, took back everything in his name. He had to find a job. The same second son who once bought $1 million suits without blinking, now haggled over a bottle of wine. Some said they saw him and Helen fighting in the street. 2 people in ruin. No matter how loudly they screamed, no one paid attention. My job went well, from 1 student to 2, 2 to 4, until I had an entire classroom of kids. Language learning was going okay, too, even if the 15 tenses sometimes made my head spin. I could carry on daily conversations. Our first spring festival in F country. Alex took me skiing. I screamed all the way down the Alps. That night, we lay in a mountain lodge, counting stars. Every star, I thought, was someone who once loved us. Alex, I asked, are you ever going to tell me the story behind Angel? That night, Alex took me home, back to Sea City, back to a city, back to a house that hadn't been opened in years. Inside, there was a room, its walls covered in drawings of pink rabbits. Chapter 24. Alex had a younger sister, 10 years younger than him. She loved rabbits. And as she grew older, pink rabbits became her favorite. She used to say she came from Planet Rabbit, sent to save the world. But life wasn't so kind to her. Their mother died giving birth. Their father passed when she was only 8. She watched, helpless, as her brother fought against greedy uncles and family politics. He was exhausted. She believed she had to save the world, so she couldn't become a burden to her brother. When the housemaids mistreated her, she stayed silent. When classmates bullied her for her selective mutism, she smiled at Alex. The one with aphasia was never Alex. It was her, to hide her condition. She often wrote Alex notes instead. Brother, school is more fun. I'll stay here over summer break. Take care of yourself, okay? Brother, I made a new friend today. It was a happy day. Brother, I baked mini cakes. They're in the fridge. Don't forget to try them. But the last note she left Alex said, Brother, Earth is too sad. I'm going back to Planet Rabbit. Don't worry, I'll visit you often. Alex was too busy. School, business, everywhere was a battlefield. But when the war ended, all that waited for him was a cold body beneath a lake. She had tried to save herself. She joined support groups for depression, for mutism. Many people added her, but they too were struggling. Most disappeared after 2 or 3 chats. Years later, I tapped on the Pink Bunny profile and sent a friend request. Little sister, add me, okay? Hey, are you busy? The sun's shining today. Would I be lucky enough to be added by you? Alex once said I talked too much, but for years, he had clung to his sister's Instagram, hoping maybe one day she might come back. But she didn't. Instead, a noisy big sister showed up. He accepted the request. Day after day, he watched me flood the chat with updates about my day, and wondered, if she had met me 10 years earlier, would things have turned out differently? Maybe. I was the gift his sister left for him. He had been lonely for so long, far from home, living with guilt, redeeming himself over and over. My voice, through his phone, was the only color in his world. But back then, I was someone else's wife. Now, you're my wife. Alex looked at the brightest star near the moon. Tell me, do you think she sent you to me? Do you think she's forgiven me? She never blamed you, I whispered, kissing the tear at the corner of his eye. She was an angel sent to save the world. She saved you, and me. Alex pulled me tightly into his arms. Selena, I love you so much. The greatest sorrow in life is loving someone who gave their heart to the wrong person. The greatest joy in life is loving someone who just so happens to fall right into your arms.